Well, if you haven't noticed, the economy is changing and our housing market is changing, and there's a lot of fear going on out there. I've heard the gloom and doomers talking about a market crash. I've heard about preserving wealth. I've heard about Great Depression. I don't know if I buy any of that, but I'm going to tell you what the best investment you can make in this market right now. Hi, I'm Troy with IGC Realty and Rental Management, a property investment firm located here in Melbourne, Florida. And I want to share with you some great wisdom that I gleaned from one of my own coaches as it relates to investing in our current market condition. Now, there's a lot of fear out there in the market right now, and you hear some groups that are touting the benefits of buying gold right now in order to protect yourself from a coming market crash. Well, the market may or may not crash. I've been hearing these types of things for years, and you never know what's really going to happen. So here, let me tell you my personal story. Years ago, I got caught up in the trap of an economic crash and protect your wealth and do all that, and I started buying precious metals. And I had gold and silver, and I had the actual coins and the bullion stored in a safe in my home. Now, I've always done pretty well for income, and I've had an entire annual year of my salary in this precious metal stored in my safe. Believe me, I felt secure. But I came to find out a real problem with that after a couple of years. You see, I did run across a little bit of tight times. I did have to sell some of those precious metals. There was nothing wrong with that. That's what it was there for. Precious metals are a thing to preserve wealth, not grow it. But what I discovered in all this process is the security I thought I had with those precious metals was completely false. Yes, they had value. Yes, they held market value in a downturn in an economy. The problem is they did not generate income. So the only way for me to get value out of this precious metals was to sell them and thus discard my wealth. So I started thinking about all my years in real estate. You know, if you buy a piece of property and it generates income, it could lose value just like gold does, just like the dollar does, but it still generates income. That was the flaw in my plan. I had this great safe filled with precious metals, but it didn't generate me any income. So when I needed money, I had to sell my wealth. Now imagine instead of buying gold, you buy a piece of rental property. Now that rental property holds value just like gold. In fact, very interestingly enough, if you do a little research, you can measure the price of gold per ounce versus the median home price here in the US, and you'll find going back many years, in fact, if we just look from 1980 to today, the price of gold and the price of housing has stayed about equal. That means you could buy so many ounces of gold equal to a property. The problem is gold only sits in your safe and does nothing, but a house, a piece of property, generates income. If we were to look at this today here in Melbourne, Florida, our median home price is about $380,000, and our median gold price is about $1,670 per ounce. That's about 230 plus ounces of gold per house. Well, if you were to go out and buy 230 ounces of gold, you would have $385,000 US, but you wouldn't have any income. So the only way to benefit from your gold is to sell it, trade it, or otherwise dispose of it. But imagine instead of buying gold, you bought a rental property. And that rental property generated income each and every month. That is income coming into your pocket that continues no matter what the market does. Now I know one thought says, well, if the housing market crashes, it's going to lose value. Yes, that's true. And gold value is going to fluctuate as well. But the fact is, people still live in the area, they still need a place to live, and no matter what's going on in the market, people will still need to rent a home. So if you're considering a way to preserve your wealth in this economic transition, consider instead of precious metals, buying rental property. That is a commodity that has valued itself equal to gold over the decades, and it generates income every single month. That makes rental housing a better investment to preserve and protect and grow your wealth than gold. Something to think about in today's changing economy. I'm Troy from IGC, a real estate investment firm located here in Melbourne, Florida. If you'd like to talk to us about building your plan to build a cash flow portfolio that could give you solid market-proof retirement income, then please give us a call or drop in our office. We'd love to spend a few minutes with you and help you build a cash flow portfolio.